Hello again. I've got some nice plans for today. Think you're gonna like this. I'm looking forward to it. So I went over to see my grandson last night for his birthday. And as I was saying, he's 10 today, he's 10 in the video yesterday. He was 11. But you might think, well, how can you not know your grandson's age? And I'll let you in on the truth behind why I don't mention my grandson that much on the channel. Unfortunately, he's severely disabled. So he wasn't really aware that it was his birthday or not. But we did have a pizza party in his honour. And yes, 11 years. 11 years old, not 10. But there we go. That's life, isn't it? Still standing in the glorious sunshine. So while I head along here next to the railway tracks on my way to Polly Steps, I just want to share with you something that Andy sent me the other day. And he sent me this about 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, got a little bit lost in the mix. I didn't use it when I was going to use it. And it reminded me about it last night. So I'm popping it in now. What it basically is a sleeper train that comes through from London to Penzance through the night. And in the this time of year, it's one of the few times when it actually comes through Dawlish area, Dawlish Warren, with sunlight. So it's fully visible. Anyway, I just run the little clip. Here you go. This is the Paddington to Penzance IC50 Night Riviera passing Langston Rock at 4:48 in the morning. It's only a small window of opportunity to see it during the summer months in daylight. Thanks, Andy. So thanks for that, Andy. Hopefully that all makes sense to you train buffs out there. All good. Here we go, Polly Steps. Not doing my usual stop over there and film the nest and film upriver. Need to crack on today if I'm going to do what I need to do and get back within a reasonable time. Just stick my head down here, see if Swan Solo's up this end. I can see a couple of egrets. He looks rather like he's a statue. Oh no, he's moved now. Like someone sort of poked him into the gravel and he's stuck there. Right, search for Swan Solo. No sign of Swan Solo today, I'm afraid. There we go though. Train! Whee! Well, I'm sure the tide is going to be low enough for what I want to do. And I'm sure the wind is near enough low enough for what I want to do. But if it's a bit too windy when I get there, I'll just do half of what I want to do. All good. Yeah, looks like I'm going to be able to get through. Totally thwart my plans if I couldn't. Anyway, see you on the other side. I've already noticed this before, but you can see here, over there, that's the original width of the tunnel. When South West Water put this big pipe through and used most of it up. Yes, there we go. You can see that's what we've just come through. And again, that's where the pipe went. Took up all that space. Checking on our abandoned bike. Gets worse every time we see it. And we shall turn left up the little path to the bridge. See you at the bridge. Takes it out of me walking that fast. That's the plaque from the bridge strengthening 2002, which we looked at in the history of the bridge recently. And if you look at it this way, you can see how it widens out. So this is the original width here. And of course, well, as you can see there, it comes out like this to the side. And that's the widening aspect in 2002. The other boatyard and a train. There we go, that's where we're heading. And I'll just do a dramatic pull out so you can see how far it is. There we go. So we're going to head up today, take a look at the old Devon Valley Holiday site. Devon Valley Holiday Village. Been there all my lifetime. In fact, I even worked there in the mid-80s. Tell you a few more stories about that when we get up there, and some of the famous people or infamous people that used to attend. That'll all make sense later. There used to be another site just behind here where these houses have been built. It was a sister site, so if you were staying at Devon Valley you could come down and use the facilities of that site, but there wasn't really much there. It was more a case of if you're staying at the cheaper site down here at the end of the bridge, you could go up and get all the entertainment and that in Devon Valley. Lovely. So it closed down last year, suddenly, only 8 months after new ownership took over, and there was a period of time where it was really seriously being considered to be used to house refugees, boat people. And plan is not to take the road and end up right at the top there. I'm going to take the beach, go down below it, hopefully fly the drone up, share some memories with you. Hello train, I knew you were coming. Always time for a train. And there's that lovely little seating area under those trees where you can watch the world go by on the river and take lots of photos and put them on Facebook. It's another old phone box. I think it's been converted into some sort of library. Looks like there's books in it. Well, this is officially the furthest up river we've walked on this channel, at least with the filming. Here we go. There's a sort of a turn in the road up there, and then it carries on parallel with the river, and that's the top part where the entrance to the camp is from the road. We're heading down here towards the river to get down onto the beach. Plants for sale, lovely. Beautiful little garden. It says open garden weekend. How lovely. Would you like to live here? There's your view. Smashing. Here we go, down onto the beach, where I think it may well prove to be too windy. What a shame. Well, I've got to get round past that headland over there so you can hear the wind I'm talking about. I've taken the wind blocker off for a second. And with the best will in the world, I won't be sending a drone up in this. Not too bad walking on these stones. That's a nice house. Only really filming it because it says private land, no public access right away. So obviously they want to be filmed. God, I remember this place so well. I had some adventures over here. Yeah. I was about 18, 19, back in the late 80s. I was running the arcade full of Space Invader machines and fruit machines and a pinball or two. It wasn't really a technical job. To be fair, I was more a glorified babysitter, making sure that the youngsters didn't smash the place up. That wasn't too difficult. But the big bonus was I'd have done it for free, to be fair, but they paid me really, really well for it, so I wasn't complaining at all. And also, because I worked in the arcade, it meant when I wasn't working, I had access to the camp and all the facilities, so I could go swimming, I could come over on a night off and go in the club, and that was lovely, really was. Especially with all the young ladies, shall we say, that would come down on their holidays. Who better to show them around than someone with local connections who knew everyone behind the bar, etc, etc. Hey, yeah, some fun times. Had some very fun times indeed. Well, that building's still there, just to the, we're in centre screen now. In my day, that was the pool hall. They had a couple of pool tables in there and a few machines. Never liked getting posted down there because there's nothing to do at all. Anyway, let's see if we can find our way up to there. Well, there we are. I found my way over the wall. Probably better than flying a drone, isn't it? That used to be full of BMX bikes for rental. I'll say this used to be the old pool room. Now a laundrette by the look of things. or became a laundrette. That wasn't there at the time. I think it was a mini golf or something, I can't remember really. Likewise, I don't really remember those big chalets being there. Now that play park certainly wasn't there. And that atrium wasn't there either. Definitely not. I've downloaded a brochure from 2015 of this site. I'm going to put it up onto the buildsphoneTeignmouth.com site. But here's a few pictures from the brochure 2015 when it was in its heyday. Here we go. So of course you can see the full brochure if you go along and have a look for it. Yes, I remember this so well. This was reception in there. Now it's the Boathouse pub, but this was reception when I went in. That's where you came in from the top there and drove down. And in behind here, there was a flight of stairs, which is gone now. Took you upstairs. That was my boss's office, Fiona, her name was. That's new there, that used to be open at the side. God, strange memories. That wasn't there, the propane tanks. And this is where I spent a lot of my time. In there. That was the arcade in there. That was the arcade. That brings back some memories. God, that does bring back some memories. A little corner up there, which you can't really see. That's where I had the change booth, where I'd sit in there. And then we'd pop up the club. Lovely. I remember this well. There used to be a story people put around that behind there was haunted. And all the kids would, towards the end of the week, would be all scared sort of thing, like, yeah. And then one of the guys would sneak around the back, go the other side of that little doorway there. And when all the kids had clucked up the courage to open it, he'd slam it shut and go, bah! They'd all run away. Remember that so well. Great memories. Another memory not so great. Unfortunately, Jimmy Saville, he had a caravan right up by the doorways or the main gates. So just, you know, a major sort of way away from everyone. And he would come down a couple of times a year, make himself known. And his favourite thing he'd like to do was to come into the arcade, because he knew there'd be lots of little children in there. And of course they'd all swarm around him. And he'd come up to me at the change desk, pull out a £50 note and ask me for change. But the reality was, I didn't have £50 in the float. This is back in the 80s. Of course, £50 was a silly amount of money back then. And he'd make a big thing about, oh no, they don't have the money to give me change, I must have too much money, ha 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 ha, and all that. And then he'd sort of swan off. And you think, well, if he did it once and he didn't know, fair enough. Because we didn't know about him what we knew now. But he did it to me about 3 or 4 times. He did it to the other person a couple of times as well. Each time he was down, he used to like just walking in and waving £50 around in front of small children. But I remember his Rolls Royce being here. Oh, yes, nightmare that was. Anyway, happier times. Let's see if I can get around the other side of the club before someone appears from somewhere and says, not allowed, and kicks me out. Don't know if you're picking up all the seagulls, but they're nesting here now because it's abandoned. So if I had taken the drone up, I would have had a combat situation. There's one up there. Let me take the wind block off. There we go, probably hear the birds a bit more now. But they're everywhere. It does seem strange to be here. I think 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. Borderline 40 years ago now. 40 years worth. Hopefully those of you that stayed here will also remember it well. Maybe not in quite the shape that you'd like to think it would be, and I'd like to think it would be, but what a gem right on the bank of the river, just abandoned like this. Such a shame. Such a shame. Here we go, this is a new bit up here. I think what they've done is they covered the swimming pool, which used to be out the back here at the back of the club. Yes, there's a reception shot, and there's a dip in the valley, heated indoor swimming pool. Let's go and peep through the... Oh, I've got a seagull that's just taken a huge dump on me. Yeah, they're not very happy with me being here. Obviously, they've taken it over. So I wouldn't have been good with the drone. There's a swimming pool, if you can make that out. Can't really see in, can you? Oh, there's all like little inflatable ducks and that from back. So it's not even been cleared out really, has it? Such a shame. I do hope someone takes it over. Right, I'm going to head back down now. So I'm not going to take the drone up for obvious reasons, but I think that's been proven. Right, let's escape before I get into any trouble. As you know, I just want to have a look around for old time's sake. I don't want to do any damage, I don't want to get in any trouble. Don't want to cause anyone any lose their job for me being here, so I'll just make my way out nice and quiet. That's what's left of their dining room. All wooden furniture stored in there now. So this is all new. Opening times. Then you know where to get your meal. Some fruit shoots still in there. Oh, you see those stairs there, they go up, there's a solid wall there. That's where the people used to come round the back and bang on the other door. Didn't used to be a wall there. Everyone would sit down here, enjoy their drinks and that of an evening. And there we go, right, let's definitely make our move back. That's nice trip down memory lane for me. Met some good friends when I was here. Still friends to this day. Thinking of you, Mark. If you're watching this, you know who you are. Right, let's find our way out. Yeah, it looks like what they've done is they've sold off all the caravans. And we're just left with the static housing, which is fixed in place. Static chalets. What a shame. Remember this in its heyday. All joking aside, if they reopened and they said, would you come and do the arcade again? Or they don't really have arcades these days, but would you come and do something here for next to nothing? I'd probably say, yeah, I'll give you a couple of hours of an evening. What a place, what a great place. Lovely. So then I'm going to have to stop filming now as I ungainly make my way across that little tiny wall there. That doesn't look much on this side, but it's slightly higher on the other. Beautiful. I really enjoyed that. Hope you did too. And of course, when the gardens were upkept, in front of the main house there, the main building, you see a little area there that's grassy bank. That used to say Devon or Devon Valley, depending on what year it was, depending on how enthusiastic they were with the planting. So here's a quick shot. Lovely. And with that, we will bid farewell to Devon Valley. Probably unless it ever opens up again, in which case we will come and cover it. Why not? I think I'll probably leave most of that in its entirety. Won't edit that down too much. Lovely. There's a saying, if I'm correct, you can never go home, Thomas Wolfe, meaning that you can never go back to where you came from. And it's true in a way. When I was younger, I was lucky enough to be taken to Pontins a couple of times a year, different events, different sort of camps all over the country. And it was very sort of basic, very rough and ready. Not as fancy as it is these days, and not as expensive as it is these days. But it was fun. It was all in it together. And we all had a great laugh. I used to meet new friends and wonderful. And I think in this day and age, if Pontins and Butlins were still like they used to be, I'd probably go there even as a single guy, like, you know, just to have fun on my own. But no, not now. Pontins has got hardly any camps and they're falling apart, the ones that are there. And Butlins has become, well, it's just changed. Just changed a lot. And I knew Butlins because I lived on site for a while in one of the static caravans up there for the owners, caravan owners. Spent a year or so up there, a couple of years up there at one point, but all good. Everything changes, and as I say, you can never go home. Let's get a little look along here as well. Final word on Devon Valley, which may make sense to a few of you, I don't know. If you want to work out exactly when I was there, Billy London was the camp compere, the Ted Bovis of the Heidi High world at Devon Valley, Billy London. And amongst the blue coats, although they weren't called blue coats because that would have been a thing from Pontins, it was the year of the twins, two identical twin ladies. And you could tell them apart because one of them wore about 4.5 inches of makeup and the other one wore about 6.5. But they were lovely. They were lovely. Well, I really enjoyed that, you can probably guess. So I don't feel bad about not sending the drone up, even if the seagulls weren't there. Much better to have a walk around and look at things close up than just float around and go, oh, look, down there's so-and-so. Lovely. Never thought I'd ever stand in there again. Never thought I'd look at that arcade or that little seat outside the door where I sat so many times. Crazy. There we go. And back up onto solid ground. And we're back onto the main drag here. This is where we turned off to get down to the beach. Lovely. There's that phone box again we looked at earlier. Next to another construction site of another house. Didn't notice that before. Yep, someone's going to go there. People in the distance coming up the beach. I was going to film them. I was going to peer over and film them and spy on them. But it turns out they're all about 8 or 9 years old. So we will give them their privacy. So a little seating area. Now the question comes up in my mind. Do I take the bridge or do I take the ferry? And I think I'm going to take the ferry. Because it makes a bit of a change, doesn't it? Get a ferry trip in. Yay, ferry! Shipwright's Arms. Lovely. Lovely little gardens. So well kept and tended. Someone's pride and joy. Lovely. Hello, doggo. Yeah, last time I walked along this bit, I think it was in the middle of winter. Nothing in the gardens at all. Aren't they beautiful though? Yes, well the drone certainly had a nice little adventure in its bag. But save that for another day. Got to go and do Ferndale Road for Colin at some point, which I will do, not forgotten, mate. All together. Slippage. Our Hunter's Lodge. Lovely. And the main road through Shaldon. We're on now, having crossed safely on the zebra crossing. Past the old Clifford Arms on my left. And as was, past the pharmacy, Bradley's Estate Agents Post Office, general stores, and of course the Shaldon Bakery. Lovely. Won't forget the village butcher, just hiding away behind that white van. There we go, Village Green, where we saw the fate the other day. Oh, they've got a little one on now, but I won't go and see that. I'll get too long on the video. Where we saw the village cat. Haven't seen him today. Must be in one of the houses. There we go, Clipper Calf. And the extremely expensive beach huts. Which, as we know, one sold recently. One of those, just one. That one there, number one. £325,000. Lovely, I'll buy two. It's a seagull nesting on a roof. Long little tiny bird right next to it. It's making a hell of a racket. Can you see him just at the top of the side there? Lovely. Nearly at the beach. Place your bets. Will the ferry be here? Will the ferry be in Teignmouth? I have no idea. Last chance to guess. Answer. It's just on its way over. Look at that. Look at that. we're off. Restless, hiding away behind that one. We're back. Well, I certainly got some steps in today, which is great because it's curry night. Excellent. Although I'm not sure how much I'm going to manage after all that pizza yesterday. But why complain? Heading down towards Northumberland Place. Not making too much of a meal of the walk home. Want to pop into the farm shop in town though, see if I can get some special stuff for Mum. And the Harbour Chip Cafe is actually open. Harbour Fish Bar, sorry, not cafe, bar. It's actually open. But of course it's curry night. So, not today, Jose. We've even started framing the potholes now. Nice. I'd love to see Laura Wall do a realistic one of Teignmouth with like the demolition and all the potholes and all the things that problems we've got at the moment, put them in all into a picture and say real Teignmouth. Relish, don't forget to pay a visit if you're down this way. He's a chunker. Hello mate. Lick the phone. Nightmare. There's a good chunky boy. There's a good chunky boy. Officially a hot dog. But that's what we like. Oh yes. See you later, chunks. Woof. That was nice. Bonus chunker fix. Didn't expect to see him today. And Andy. That's the Andy and Chunker, not the Andy and Dawlish. Too many Andys. We're having an Andy fest. Oh yes. Here we go. Teignmouth Farm Shop. Lovely. Let's pop in there. But I got what you needed. A bit of fresh fruit that they don't do at Lidl's or in the co-op. And finally, back at Wetherspoons for Barry. Oh, it's all extremely noisy today. Got scaffolders going off on one side, you've got people drilling on the other. So I'm not going to go and sign off at the top like I normally do. I'll sit myself down here and sign off here. So there we go. That was an unexpected day. Say shame we didn't get the drone up, but then that still would have been hit by the seagulls, but it was lovely to have a look around there again. Hope you've enjoyed seeing what it looks like now, or seeing what it looks like for the first time if you've never seen it before. So that's it for today. Hopefully I haven't gone too long. Take care, see you tomorrow. Bye.